Hi. So this morning I was having a conversation with my husband about a show I had watched and how a lady was going, she was like a week from having a sex change operation, and the guy felt bad because he had been attracted to her before she had the sex change operation, or perhaps because she was a man, born a man. And and my husband was like, "Yeah, I'd feel creeped out too." And I was like, that gets me. I don't know if it's because I'm female or if it's because I have borderline personality disorder, but the way I see it, especially, I mean, with a person, since I know people who are trans, and I know of the struggles that they go through, and I am aware in my own personal life, with living with borderline personality disorder, we get really irritated that we're not who we want to be. I mean, I don't look the way I want to look. I don't have the job that I want. I don't have the car that I want. I don't have the house that I want. Everything. And I mean, in all honesty, with myself, um, getting those things doesn't make me happy. I know this because I've gotten things that I wanted. And the second that you get them, you just say, well, I'm done now. Which I know that a person who's transgender, um, that doesn't change. It doesn't, they're not going to live, most of their young life as a boy or boyish until they can get hormones and stuff like that. They don't do all that and then like go get a sex change and then say, oh, well, I guess I don't really want to be a boy. No, that is a part of them that makes them feel complete. Um, I can understand that. I can understand the feeling like you don't belong in your skin. That this is not mentally. This is not how I picture myself because it's how I feel every day. I mean, yeah, I got boobs, so yes, I picture that. I picture certain things. I picture that I am female. But the picture I have of me that would be like aces in my head is not the picture I see in the mirror or on this screen. Um, and when I go out in public, I feel awkward. And I cannot really imagine how awkward a trans person feels when they walk out in public because they're trying to project. We'll use my friend Jackson as a reference. Jackson wants everybody to see him as a boy. And now Jackson looks a lot more like a boy. But when I was working with Jackson, Jackson very much was a girl. I mean, Jackson dressed like a boy, kept his hair like a boy, but you could tell Jackson was a girl. Um, and I just called him by his name. I never used pronouns, and I never said ma'am or sir or anything like that to him. Um, and I think for some people it is difficult because there are some people that just like to dress like boys, that are girls. So, it's kind of tricky, but I get it. If somebody says, hey, I prefer to be called sir, I prefer to be called this because Jackson's name is not Jackson, but Jackson wants to be called Jackson, so Jackson gets called Jackson. But I called him a different name when we worked together. Um, and when it comes down to when Jackson has all of the parts that make him a boy, I don't think that Jackson should have to tell any female he meets that he was born a girl. Just that I can't have kids. You know, I can't have kids. That's all that anybody really has to say. And I think with a male turning into a female, before the operation, yeah, you have an obligation to your own safety to tell people, I have a penis, because men like to know that kind of thing ahead of time. Um, and that's tricky. I really feel for guys who want to be women because you know you're having to hold your own against. I mean, if a guy gets mad that you're dressed like a girl and you still have a penis, that can get your ass whooped, especially in the South. Um, so I really feel for them. That's a tricky thing. You can come right out and say it, but what if you come right out and say it to the wrong person and they're just going to get mad at you anyway because they thought you were attractive, so you get beat up because they thought you were attractive, and they can't deal with the fact that you look like a girl. So them being attracted to you, I mean, it's like I told my husband. I said, if you're disgusted when you find out that they have a penis, then there's nothing wrong with your radar. You don't have to feel bad about yourself because the ultimate goal is that they want to look like a female. So you thought they were a female, but if you get turned off when you find out that they don't have the parts you want, that's not something to fear for your manhood over, because the ultimate goal is to look like a girl. Um, but I think that once they don't have a penis, it's nobody's business that they were born a man, because they were. Because I mean, if you asked a guy, if he had an accident and lost his pecker and they couldn't replace it, so he no longer had a pecker, he would probably feel like less of a man. I mean, heck, if he can't get an erection or keep an erection, he feels like less of a man. So, how is a woman who was born a boy and went and got the surgeries and stuff to make being a girl a reality, how is she any less of a girl? How is she still a man? She's not. Her outside matches who she feels like on the inside. And like I said, I don't know if it's that I'm female or if it's that I'm borderline. I have a personality disorder that I'm like, hey, face value. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So if you were born a boy, but you went and got surgeries and now you have a vagina and boobs, you're a girl. So what if you don't have ovaries? Lots of people who are born female don't have ovaries. I'd get rid of mine right now if I could. If they'd take them out, I'd say take them. Take all that stuff because I don't need it anymore. Um, so for a guy to think it makes him less of a man or makes him kind of gay if he's attracted to a woman who used to be a guy. No, it's used to be. I used to be a 10-year-old girl. Not anymore. I got 30 years on that 10-year-old girl. You know, um, I could say I'm a blonde, or I used to be a blonde when I dyed my hair blonde or when I bleached it blonde. Not right now. The image I project is who I am. I mean, it's who I want you. Well, not in my case, it's not who I want you to see, but we try to get as close to who we are as we can. I mean, we do the best with what we have. Um, and if I had the money, I would probably have a bunch of plastic surgeries and try to look. I mean, I don't know if it would get as bad as like the people who want to look like Barbie and Ken, but you know, I wouldn't look like this. I'd be trying to fix who I am. I mean, as it goes, the best I can do is like dye my hair and maybe put in color contacts. Um, but, if a guy says, I like blondes and you're dyed blonde, does he get pissed that you bleach your hair? Does he get like really pissed off about it? Fuck no, because you're a blonde when he met you. So you're a blonde. He's not going to ask you, do you bleach your hair? Because it doesn't fucking matter. It's about how you look at that moment when he sees you. And later on he can find out if you're a shitty human being or you're just plain old disgusting. Like maybe the day he met you was the one day of the month that you actually bathe, you know. I mean, who knows what kind of, I mean, does that make a guy less of a man if he liked a girl who only bathes once a month on the day that she bathed? There's lots of disgusting things people do, that make you disgusted. It doesn't mean you're off women because one girl was disgusting. That means that's why, just because you find a woman attractive and find out that she wasn't born a woman, that doesn't make you less of a man. So that's the skinny on how I feel about that. Have a good day.